Well, again, and welcome back, everybody, to another edition of the Rural Report. I am your Rural 2IC, and with yesterday's video, I got a bunch of people that messaged me like, I really like your format. And I was like, okay, all I was doing was two things at once, and I'm not really that good at multitasking. So I figure I'm going to try it again and see if I get a little better at it. So what are we going to do? We're going to clean a self-defense tool. So just like before, bags out. Okay, we're going to clear it. Nothing in there. And then off camera, so that way you guys, because for whatever reason, YouTube does not like people apparently knowing how to do that. And so we'll just do it off camera. All right, taken apart. This was one of the ones that I did go do a little bit of training with as well. So I'm curious to see on how dirty or whatnot this one is. Oh boy, he is a filthy. Here, let's do a quick thing on this before we get into the video, because all right, clean cloth. Let's see how dirty this one got. This one got about the same number of rounds. Let's see. Oh yeah, you got a little dirty on here. Okay, so on this one, I'm going to be doing a video here within the next 2 weeks, probably going to do it on New Year's Eve, where I'm going to do some predictions. And it's basically going to be for fun. I'm going to do probably about 5 that we will come back and visit in a year. And these are going to be predictions for what I think could potentially happen next year in 2024. And then I'm going to make a couple that are just fun, you know. And I encourage you that when you watch that video to make some of your own predictions. And we'll come back, and there's no technically right or wrong answer to it, okay? It's not going to be anything. There is going to be no prizes. If you think something bad is going to happen and it does, there's nothing, okay? We're not even going to do bragging rights on it. So we'll do one of those videos, and one of them, and I may have to change it since I'm going to do a video like right now, where I think next year, and we'll see if I'm right or wrong, and if you agree or disagree, tell me. So this will be a preview for that video. I think because of all the different things, and so some of the things that I'm talking about is the shipping lane stuff, all the different conflicts and wars that are currently going on, and all that. I think with the amount of homelessness that's going on in the United States, I think with the current debt situation, not only for the government, but the amount of debt that people have racked up, especially they're going to go into the holiday times. You know, we're right here with Christmas. That's buying things. That is travel, which on a very small side note, don't go into debt. Pinball did a video on this not too long ago where he said, think about last year, the year before, or maybe even the year before that. I know a squeaky chair. Maybe Santa will bring me a new chair for Christmas. Think about 2-3 years ago. Pick somebody. What did they get you for Christmas? Yeah. You might be able to think of one thing. And remember that when it comes to this Christmas, because you're going to run up your credit card, which if you're buying a $100 item for somebody and you're going to use your credit card, especially the ones that are out right now that are at 29.9%, which is just astronomical. That means you're paying 30%. So that means that $100 item now become $130. That's one present. Now keep adding up all the other people you got to buy for. So when you get done and you go, okay, well, I spent $1,200, $1,500 total for Christmas. I bought everybody. Okay, so what's 30% of that? Because that's what it really cost. It's better for you to do something handmade. Go through and figure out what it is your talent. You know, you can go through and learn how to knit or crochet and make, a handmade gift. Because would something like a pair of mittens or a beanie or toboggan, whatever your term for that knitted hat is, you made it, it's special. Nobody else is going to ever have that hat because it's a one of a kind made by you. Two, you can make it personalized, so that way it's going to be especially different and something that they will like way more. Three, being a prepper, it's always great to have winter like items. Now I know some of you maybe down in Texas and Florida that's watching. You're like, what? Who wants mittens? Okay, well, it does get a little chilly down there for you folks. And I always find it weird because years ago, I was down in Atlanta for a couple of things. And I got up and it was, I don't know, 45, 48 degrees. And I saw the weather was going to get into like the mid 50s. And so I just wore shorts and a t-shirt, and I had most of the people down there looking at me like I was crazy. When I went into a place to get coffee, the lady behind the counter, very nice lady, she looked at me and she goes, "You're not from around here, are you?" I said, "No, ma'am, I'm not." So, but there's other things that you can make. Okay. I always push paracord. Paracord is an amazing skill to learn. You can hand make something with paracord. And then it's one of those ones that in an SHTF situation, they're really going to be happy that they got that from you. You didn't go out and spend a crazy amount of money on an item. You handmade it. It comes from the heart. It was made and labored by you, and they will probably value it a lot more. I know I value handmade, personalized things a heck of a lot more than getting some mass-produced cheap junk from China. So, with that being said, man, it's filthy in here. I didn't really think that it got this dirty. All right, well, I'm glad that I field stripped this and getting it nice and clean. There we go. All right, see, I told you I cannot do two things at once. All right, so when it comes to holidays, make sure that you're not going to go into debt. Get out of debt. That's one of your biggest things when it comes to, anything prep related, is do your best to get out of debt. Debt is not your friend. Debt gets you in nothing but trouble. Debt usually begats more debt, and you just become a slave to the system. So do your best to get out of debt. Now, to wrap this up, because I went on 300 tangent points, which I apologize, but some of you really enjoy that. I get a lot of people that go, we like your channel because the way that these types of videos come out, you speak from the heart. There's no script. I'm not reading anything. You can tell I'm not reading anything. I'm sitting here trying to put my self-defense tool back together. And so there's a lot of people that like that because I guess it comes off more real. But anyway, my prediction is that with all the different economic things that's going on and things like that, there's going to be some mass layoffs next year. I think it'll come in waves. I think you're going to see a pretty big one first quarter of next year. I think you will see a little bit less. It'll go down a tiny bit in second quarter. I think it'll kind of take a big swing in third quarter, and then depending, we'll see where we are in fourth quarter. But you've got to make sure that you're prepared for that. I know time is very, very short because first quarter is what, 2 weeks away. Um, is your job, the job sector you're in, your field of how you make a living for yourself, your family, and all that, is it one that is a quote unquote, essential? Is it one that is going to be foolproof for um, layoffs? You have to. I went back together pretty nicely. Because there's going to be a lot of people that think, well, back in the CV19er days, I still was employed. Good. But we're talking about two different things. Now, could something like that come back? Yeah, it absolutely could. But when we're talking about economics, your job was essential then, but now in an economy field, are you still going to go? And when people ask me, they go, well, hey, what kind of fields would that be? Hard to say, really. I mean, you can go back into history, pull up the Great Depression, and see who was still employed back then, what jobs were still booming. The difference is a lot of those jobs were industrial. We actually made things. A lot of that got shipped overseas. We became a service economy. If people don't have any money, they tend to do things for themselves and quit buying services. And so it takes a lot to get industrial back up and running. In some cases, it takes years, even close to a decade, to get things, the land bought, cleared, material there, people to build it, people to get things, going, people to order things, people to hire. It takes a lot to get things actually moving and running and into a rhythm and all that. So if something was to really, really badly happen, it could take quite a while to get back to a normal. Okay. And so I'm not telling you to run out and quit your job. Okay. What I am saying is that you need to prepare yourself, because if you are, let's say something that's really random, let's say you're a dog walker. Okay. You go to people's houses and you get their dog and you go walk them. If the purse strings really get clamped down, okay, do you think somebody, when they look at their checkbook and they go, man, I need to cut, some money, I got to save $100, well, are they going to take and get rid of the internet? Are they going to get rid of their cell phone? They're going to get rid of their cable? They're going to get rid of food? Or are they going to look at the dog walker and go, if I just spend 5 minutes and walk my own dog like a responsible person, then it'll help with my purse string and I can keep some of the other stuff. So you may want to look at your profession and see. Now, I know it's really tough because we're only a few weeks away. Now's the time to maybe take a deep dive into yourself and take a look around, and it might be time to start exploring. The only bad thing is even if you have a job skill, let's say that you were a nurse for 10 years and you just kind of got a little burnt out on it. You don't need to make as much money. You'd rather stay home. So you quit that and you went and become a part-time person at, I don't know, an ice cream shop or something like that. Okay. Well, you might want to consider going back into healthcare. The only thing is, though, is that if you switch back to healthcare, when layoffs happen, a lot of times they take and they go with the newest people first. Now, I do see some of the times they'll get rid of a lot of the top people, because if you get rid of 2 or 3 of these guys, it equates to like 20, 30, 40 plus of the lower tier guys, money-wise. The only thing is some of these companies, they tend to go from bottom up, or they go from top and bottom and kind of squeeze down. So if you just start and you've only got, let's say you start in January and they start doing layoffs in late February, early March, you've got 6 weeks with the company. They may go, hey, we're really sorry. We got to tighten the purse string, and we're going based on seniority and all that. It's a gamble. It really is, and I feel for people, and it's one of them things. Anybody can be affected by this. It doesn't really matter if you sit here and you look at a job thing, a field of service, and you go, well, no, I worked all through the thing of the 19s and the 20s and all that. I was never laid off or in jeopardy. Okay. But the thing is your company has to make money. And in order for your company to make money, it needs people to come in. And if you work through it last time during all that crazy stuff, doesn't mean the next time around they're going to spend the same amount of money, or they may not spend it all. And it may affect your company this time around. It's a scary, scary world to think that there is a person out there that they're not going to change their lifestyle for you. I know Ohio is an at-will state. You can literally be a really good employee. You show up every day, don't call off, never late, all that. You turn good work, you're friendly, everybody likes you there and all that. And the boss can literally walk in on a Wednesday, look at you and say, your services are no longer required. It's a scary thing, and that's why you got to make yourself an asset to these people. So that way, hopefully that doesn't ever happen to you. But if it does, that you build your reputation and your job skills to where you can go and replace that. Now, that also comes back around to building a mag. You can be kicked out of a mag at any time. And so that's why you need to get your job skills, get all of your knowledge and everything nailed down, build that reputation, get out there, network. Okay. I don't often hear, it's not unheard of to hear somebody get kicked out of a mag. Usually it's somebody moving away, or they split. The mag's gotten too big, so they split and they, two smaller mags out of it. I hear that a lot, or at least a lot more often than I hear somebody say they get kicked out. Usually when you get kicked out is because you did something dumb. Okay. They made a bad decision and you have to pay the consequences. But all right, I think I rambled long enough. I think I went off onto a topic. I started here and meant to go here, and we went this way and multiple different things. So hopefully you got something out of that. Maybe we'll turn this into a self-defense tool, chit-chat, fireside, whatever. Maybe I just need to do lives like this. I don't know. Anyway, that's all I've got for you guys. If you guys made it this far, again, you guys rock. It's one of those ones of I'm still astonished on having a channel and having people value my opinion, what I have to say, that really get things out of it, that get inspired. And I hope, even if I can just inspire one person, that does enough for me to get up every day and continue to do what I do. So, all right, guys, I love each and every one of you. Have a great day, whatever day this comes out in. And stay tuned, more information to come. Say it with me now, and above everything else, please remember to remain united, because we're all prepping in this together.